Jose, are ready to do another Aliaga Marko show?
Sure.
There's been a lot that's gone on since last we've done one of these, Jose.
I know. It's so crazy what's going on here in America. It's
Yeah.
very sad, you know.
One of the things that sort of upsets me, Jose, is the accusation that this is a racist country, that there's systemic racism, and I totally disagree with it, Jose. I think the United States is the most welcoming, open-minded country in the world.
That's true. This is the only country in the world that we take everybody. We have people from everywhere, from every part of the world, and they are living here for many years. They enjoy the freedom and the opportunities in America offer, because in so many other countries you don't have the same opportunities. That's why a lot of people wants to come to America.
There are people coming here from all parts of the world, including Africa. And if this was a racist country, why would people of all these different races want to come here if it were racist? The reality is they feel very welcome here, and they know this is the land of opportunity.
That's right, Matt. I think it's because of the whole point here is because it's election year. It's because and they probably saw the polls, and the real polls showed that the Republicans and Donald Trump is going to win. So they have to do something bold, and that's why they're doing that, which is wrong. I not justify that is right. It's why the Democrats is bringing racism as a point. But even though it's sad, because history even doesn't help them, because the Democrats are the one who actually wants to keep slavery and racism back in 1860. So they don't have even history helping them out for this issue. It's really sad. But
I saw this meme, Jose, that popped up, and this is right after the very brutal and sad killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis by a very bad policeman there. And this meme just sort of shows that here something similar had happened the previous year to Tony Timpa, killed by a policeman in a very same way. And it really, I'd never heard of it. Had you?
No, the media didn't talk about it.
Yeah, it wasn't talked about. But the point is that what happened to George Floyd, it wasn't necessarily proved to be a racist thing. It was basically an errant bad policeman who murdered somebody. It was just happened to be a bad apple. And I'm sure that when you've got millions of policemen, there's maybe, if you have a fraction of a percent that are bad, something like that is going to happen.
Right, absolutely. I think the leftists and their organizations and foundations and other PACs and other things come from Washington, special interests from the establishment and from the Democrats are trying to link this to Donald Trump because it's election time.
And it's really got nothing to do with Donald Trump, because these are all in Democrat cities, in a Democrat state where you're having problems like that. And I'll tell you what the systemic problem is, Jose, is that in these Democrat areas, they're supported by unions, and these unions are the ones that have these contracts where you cannot get rid of a bad employee or a policeman or a public service worker. And Donald Trump fixed this in the VA and the VA hospitals, where they had contracts where you couldn't fire anyone. He changed it. So in the VA hospitals, it's better, you can get rid of the bad apples. And now it's time in the public sector unions to change the contracts where you can get rid of a bad policeman or a bad teacher or any other bad public servant like that.
Which is good, and I think Donald Trump has been doing the right things for America. But you see, Democrats are twisting the truth and make it looks like somehow it's Donald Trump's fault, even though the state is run by Democrats, the city is run by Democrats, even the police. But I don't know how they link to Donald Trump, and it's creating the wrong perception.
And if you look at this, and this one is, here CNN has been trying to stoke the flames of saying this is all racism and stuff. And they're talking about these 4 white police officers that killed Floyd and all of that. And it was just the one that killed him, and the other three that were arrested weren't even white. You got a Hispanic, a black, an Asian. And it just proves that they're just trying to race bait and cause problems, Jose, being divisive.
Yeah, it's how CNN has been reporting. It's why we call it fake news all the time. It's never stopped.
And it's nauseating. And I like this particular quote from Morgan Freeman to stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man, and I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. And this is very close to the way I feel about it, Jose. I'm an individualist. I see people as individuals, and I think it's time for society to start seeing everyone as individuals. And one of the biggest problems I have, Jose, with the Democrat Party and the media is the constant grouping and labeling of groups as being parts of this or parts of that. And when the reality is, it's time to start realizing everyone's an individual. And I think one thing that the government can do is to stop labeling and grouping. And in the census, for example, let's stop that nonsense and then just start realizing everybody is an individual. And after we get used to that, I think this whole race nonsense will be gone.
I agree with that. I think that for many years, the Democrat Party have been labeling people, and it's sad. It's sad because it's how actually the media, the mainstream media, is trying to solve that to the public. Agree with you.
Yeah. And I think what's the whole reason behind this, Jose? I think it comes down to this right here, this meme that you sent me. And it basically shows that what these people are trying to do, it has nothing really to do with race. It's more about division, and it's trying to bring in socialism and communism. They're tearing down statues of great leaders like George Washington and Lincoln and all that, and they're leaving up these statues of communists like Lenin.
That's really sad. I mean, George Washington is, one of the founders of our country, and destroying the monuments or our history like that is totally wrong. They tried to destroy Ulysses Grant, U.S. Grant, who actually fought slavery, who actually fought against destroy slavery, and then they want to destroy it. They want to remove Teddy Roosevelt statue from New York. Again, all those things are totally wrong. I know for them what it means is winning an election, but really it's destroying our culture, destroying our history, and giving a good example, a wrong example, because people around the world are seeing this and think like, oh, if you need to win an election, what you need to do is destroy history, destroy the culture, and create riots, Antifa, and those groups going around and destroying public and private property, and that's not right. That's a crime, actually.
That's right. It's a crime, and we have to support our police. And there's changes that we can make. First of all, in those cities, they can start voting Republican if they want to have real change, and we can start trying to crack down on these sweetheart union contracts and this incestuous relationship between the Democrat Party and the unions that help them get elected, and then they put their union people in there to write these contracts where you can't get rid of bad characters. So the reality is, Jose, we are not in a racist country. We're in a country of individuals made up of great people. And that's all we need to do is realize we're all individuals and stop labeling people. I'm an individual. I'm an American. I don't see any hyphen between any of my background and being an American. And you're an individual too, Jose. And there is no racism like that systemic in our country, except some problems really from the unions and the Democrats. And they're just trying to basically cause division and trouble, perhaps to promote socialism.
I agree with you, Matt. And I think that the truth is, I think they done a very good professional poll and showed them they were losing by big time because Donald Trump has been delivering all his promises. And because of that, big organization funded by George Soros, because I read a lot of articles, and other organizations on the left side, Marxists, that's why they know destroy Marxist status, are provoking doing this just because of election. You're gonna see after the election, Republicans are gonna win and everything is gonna be fine. It's gonna be normal. We're not gonna see more riots.
And what goes on in other countries? You don't hear about it. What was going in South Africa, where they were stealing land from farmers just because of their race, because they were white, and giving them to other people because of their race, because they're black. There's a lot of racism going on around the world, and where you have real bad racism like that. Not a word about it, Jose, but they're accusing this country, which is not racist. So it's wrong, Jose. They're trying to promote socialism.
I mean, I understand also what the beauty of America is, you have the right to exercise your freedom of speech. But I mean, I understand if you want to protest something, you can, but destroying private and public property, uh, federal property, which is a crime, destroying that, and going and stealing things for the store, that's wrong. That's a crime.
It's wrong, and
there's no protesting. That's a crime, period.
Right. And really, one of the main objectives of government and one of their responsibilities is to provide personal safety and protection, because without that, then you're going into the Wild West of everybody trying to protect themselves with guns, and you're going to have a lack of law and anarchy.
True.
Anyway, Jose, let's not wait so long before we do another one of these shows. There's too many things going on that need to be discussed.
Well, before we finish, I want to congratulate you a lot for yesterday's event, for June 25th event for North Oakland Republican Club. It was a great, amazing turnout. You got a lot of candidates, a lot of people. People enjoy it. I enjoyed myself a lot being there. Toronto was a lot of conservative leaders, people that care about our country, that wants to serve and do great things.
The reason why that event was such a success, Jose, is because you were the co-chairman and you did such an excellent job with it, you and Mark. So anyways, Jose, thank you, and let's do another Aliaga Marko show soon.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay, adios, mi amigo.
Yes.